I was born in a place called Bhutan, and unlike many of you, I wasn't born in a hospital. I was born amidst lots of bamboos and lot of lavender. And Bhutan, as some of you may know, is a landlocked country. And as a citizen or a consumer from a landlocked country, we have a different psyche, which I'm not going to explain too much. Basically, you live in a small sort of a territory, and you have two big neighbors breathing down all the time. Yes, so I grew up, you can, maybe not really jungle, but I definitely grew up in a forest. And I used to know a lot about, relatively speaking, I used to know a little bit about forest. I knew what kind of mushrooms you can eat and what kind of mushrooms you should avoid. But some of this knowledge now is gone, because most of the mushrooms that I eat is from 7-Eleven and other things. I think I'm good at making fire still. I'm good at making fire. But there's not so much place to make fire now. At the age of around 6 or 7, I was taken away from my family. Actually, I was sold. I was bought, I was sold for, I think, about 5 NT. I'm not exaggerating, this is true. And there is a reason for this. In the Himalayas, as many of you know, the culture believes in, recognizing reincarnation and so on and so forth. So when I was really having a really good time actually it's like a subtropical place among the elephants, rhinoceros, and big python snakes. Some people turn up one day, some strangers turn up, and they said, you are reincarnation of some person. It's a bit like if some Austrian come to you and say, hey, you have to go to Austria because you are Mozart's incarnation. Anyway, I was sold for such a cheap rate, not because my family had 7 children, including me. I guess for my family, it was sort of an honor. But that money or whatever, that fare or that price was important. It is actually in the custom that when the child is given to the whoever is taking away, they will give the prize. This is to symbolize the family have no more say. It is the property or the commodity belong to someone else. Anyway, yes, that was the end of being with my family. So I don't have photo that has a complete my family all together. Never. There's always me missing most of the time. Anyway, once I left, I was made to study things that were written 2,500 years ago. And in fact, I have to say, after half a century, I am still things that were written 2,500 years ago. Now what I studied and what I'm still studying has been named by other people, They named it Buddhism. It's a very, very interesting. And actually, it gets more complicated. I think gradually other people, especially Westerners, they begin to categorize what I study as a religion or as a spiritual. Anyway, you can say that I am thoroughly brainwashed and influenced and, yes, brainwashed by this so-called Buddhism. And today, I have come to a conclusion that there's only one man who really is right, and everything what he said, he's the only one that is right, and his name is Siddhartha or Gautama Buddha. Of course, no, I'm not only saying he's right in the technique of meditation. He's right with everything. He's right with economy. He's right with science, leadership, politics, relationship, parenting. Only he is right. So this is how I think. I'm totally brainwashed, you can say that. The studies I have done, called Buddhism, believes that there is so many intelligence, like not just us human beings, there's so many other intelligence that exist, like infinite direction and infinite spaces. It talks about millions of planets, and some of these planets have interesting intelligence and beings. Anyway, to make it more comprehensible, Buddhism teaches about 5, 6 different planets, sort of groups of beings. Well, we just happen to be what the Buddhists call human beings, human realm. By the way, I have a lot of names. When I was a kid, I think my grandmother gave me name Lepo. My father's father, Dujom Rinpoche, gave me 2 names. One is called Tsangpa Hlai Meto, which means the flower of heaven. I guess people, maybe my immediate family may have thought it was too girlish to have a name like that. So he then gave me another name called Kensen Norbu. And Sake Trizin gave me a name. And that's called Jamyang Tuten Choji Jaso. Yeah. There are many more, there are so many others, other names. Probably 60. But anyway, Lepo, my grandmother's name, one that she gave me, is Lepo. And Lepo means the idiot. And when my families, when they were very loving to me, it's always the Lepo. And my father, and also others, when they're a little annoyed with me, especially my father, Kensen Norbu. So the preferred name is idiot. And there are a lot of Bhutanese whose name, my sister, by the way, is Lemo, means the female idiot. And many, many Bhutanese, my generations, have this kind of names. But I think in about 20 to 30 years' time, in about 20 years' time, Bhutanese kids will sue their parents for giving this kind of name, for emotional damage. Because many Bhutanese will, and many youngsters, many young Bhutanese who is now sent to Ivy Leagues and other, they will be then finish watching maybe about 20 presidential debates. No, not 20, how many? About
5.
5, right? 5 presidential debates. And by then they will learn how to feel emotionally damaged. But this is very mundane. Who cares? Culture is something that always evolves. But there are few serious ones that we should pay attention to. For instance, one that always bugs me. It always bugs me whenever people categorize Buddhism into department of a spiritualism, spiritual.